Hello, everybody. You want to know how much I love you? I'm doing this take two. My nose started running like crazy in that last one. Anyway, if you don't know what's going on, then you were not following me on my live stream, and I would love it if you'd follow me on live stream. As terrible as the internet connection is, I love having you guys close, and it makes me try to talk a little differently on these recordings. Anyway, so I'm doing a tutorial on noses today, and that's very apropos, considering the fact that my nose is running like crazy this morning. So I apologize. My last tutorial was wickedly bad. So we're going to give this another shot. Anyway, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tim, and I do tutorials and speed paints and a whole bunch of other crazy artwork. I'm a full-time caricature artist and also full-time graphic designer by day. So I work nonstop, basically all day long. Whether it's one thing or another, it doesn't really there's never an end to my workload. And so basically what's going on here is I want to do a tutorial for you guys on schnozzes. There is a lot of detail in a nose, and even in this picture. If you look at my nose, do you know how to draw it? I know a lot of people who would say no, because a camera takes your nose, makes it flat. It's like a piece of paper. And when it comes down to it, all this is a bunch of light and dark colors to create this shape. This is all shadow. All this is built out of shadow. But when you understand that there's structure, that there's actually depth, that my nose is literally that far away from my face, and that you have to capture that depth one way or another, that helps you get a better likeness, that helps you understand technique, and these are the things that I want to show you here. So in saying that, I don't have reference photos. I'm not pulling 10 different people, 10 different types of noses. I'm going to show you the one technique. This is basically, if you asked me for a fish, I'm giving you a fishing pole. This is the technique that you're going to use on every single person every single day when you draw caricatures. And it works, and it works well. I've mentioned it in a couple other tutorials, but today is going to be the day of focus on this. So I'm going to go ahead and start by getting us into our little recording screen so you can see what's going on here. All right. Now, basically, we're going to be looking at some very, very basic techniques. First off, we're going to look at the overall shape of the nose. Okay, the overall shape, the triangle, basically, if you will. From there, we're going to look at where the center circle is. Center circle of the bottom of the nose. Then we're going to look at the bridge. And we're going to look at the top. And there's certain orders that you'll find are better than others. And I apologize if I end up dabbing my nose from time to time. It's way too early. It's the weekend. And the weekend usually means that Tim's not really ready for doing these kinds of videos. So, are you ready? Let's do it, guys. So basically, when we look at a nose, here's what we see. From the side, this is called a profile, and this is an attempt at my nose, okay? Very, very quick attempt at my nose. We have this very, very basic shape. This very basic shape consists of several key parts that you need to focus on as a caricature artist. 1, this. 2, that. 3, that. 4, that. Okay, and then finally, 5th, that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? These are the 5 things that you want to focus on when it comes to drawing a schnoz. If you want to get a schnoz right, if you want to get a good likeness, these are the things you need to focus on. And each one's going to play into the other, obviously, because everything's connected right here. So what I'm going to do is show you guys my basic techniques for understanding the basic shape of a face. First off, let's talk about that triangle of the nose. I told you guys before about the triangle of the face. You're going to draw a triangle of the face, and basically that means the outsides of the eyes, the bottom of the nose, and then all that stuff is going to connect together somewhere on here to create a fun caricature. And the outside of the eyes, so outside of the eyes. Let's get this right, Timbo. Now, basically when it comes down to it, there is a triangle of a nose as well, and you can use this to help you build the structure of the nose. So if I do this, and I draw a triangle. Now, when you draw that triangle, if you look at someone, you put a triangle over their face, you imagine a triangle over their face, take a look at where the center circle of their nose is. Center circle is this center circle. If you look at someone's face, there's a certain point in time where all the skin and all the flesh and all the cartilage come together to the front of the nose, and there's almost a circle there, okay? And each person is going to have a different size. Some people have really big bulbous ones, some people have little tiny ones. It all depends on your understanding of whether it's a button nose or a sharp nose like mine or whatever the case may be. What you want to do is you want to look at the nose with that triangle over top, like this, across the way. You want to go, where does, in my mind's eye, where does this nostril fall? This not nostril, where this center circle fall? Does it fall right on my line? Does it fall below my line? Does it fall above my line? And that's going to help you understand the basic structure of the nose in where you need to position things. Okay? So, like I said, it's not the same size. It could be a big bulbous circle, could be a humongous circle. It's gonna take shape, and you're gonna see as we keep going here. I warned you. This tutorial is gonna be lots of sniffly, snorty. Don't hit the dislike button for this, okay? I'm doing my best here. Okay. All right. So here's what we're looking at now. I'm teaching you guys from the front of the face, and then we're going to slowly turn this thing, okay? So, from the front of the face, we have this structure here. Once we understand where the position of the circle is, I'm going to put mine here in the center. Then I want to look below the circle. Do I see nostrils? Do I see black holes for nostrils? Do I see a structure of the shape here on the bottom that connects to my lip? Do I see this? Comes down here, and then somehow right here it switches into this shape, which is the cartilage here right above your lip before you draw your lip. Like right here's the lip. Does that make sense? There we go. Excuse me, I'm so sorry for my stuffiness. So, with that in mind, now that I have this structure, now I can finish this off. And that's going to help me know kind of where to put my nostrils and the top of the nostrils, like that. Okay? So all this structure, just like this, goes to make the form of the nose. And then you'll either shade it or you'll ink it. And basically if I ink it, which I know I'm totally pushing this tutorial even longer because I decided to do this, if you ink it, you want to go ahead and ink the nostrils. Ink this line coming down from the bottom of the nose. Ink the outer nostrils. Then you want to ink the bridge. And that's about it, quite honestly, because anything else that you do is going to be conducive on the eye. Like that. Ugh, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on, we're going to go into my back soon sign. Hang on just a second. Ew. Okay, so far so good. You guys enjoying this tutorial? Hit the like button for me. This is just a fun morning, all kinds of fun. And then finally, you probably wanted to find the bottom of the nose right here, just like this as well. And that's basically your structuring of your nose that you want to have when you're doing this kind of stuff. And then all the rest of the stuff that you can do in shading. But that's kind of most of the stuff you want to define in that shape. And you may have better techniques, or you may find a way that works better for you. Good, use it. From this point, also, we can look at the idea of maybe the nose not having nostrils, because maybe the person you're drawing has their face tilted down, which means that in that case, or maybe it's someone with just a very, very, very strong, bold nose, like there's lots of different cultures that have people with very, very large noses that are very, very much directly down placed. And those kinds of people, you just want to look at that overall shape, figure out where the bottom of the nose is, which if it goes beyond the line, like, oh, let me tell you this. Look up here at this top nose. One of the things that you need to look for is shadow. Okay, usually for most people, if we take the sun, ta-da, little sun right here, yippee, little sun pointing at the nose, you see that all this would be lit. All this would be lit, but then right here, all this would be in shadow. Okay? Because there's a certain point in time where the nose is going to take a tilt and go underneath, and that means that light can't hit on that underneath part down here. No wonder I'm sneezing so much. I'm touching my nose every 10 seconds. Little elephant whistle there, sorry. But that basic shape there. Please like this for its comedic relief. That's all I'm saying. Comedic relief, comedic whatever. I always wanted to make funny tutorials for you guys. I am saying that much, but yeah, I had no intention of it being self-deprecating or self-snogiating. Anyway, we look at the shadow coming down off the bottom of the nose, and from there, that's where you're going to put the structure of whatever else you need to, where in lines of black shading or whatever coming down. All right, yeah, skip all that. So coming back over to this other face, and if I'm looking at this structure and I'm taking the sun right here, and I'm bringing it down over top this nose, then there's probably going to be a shape that's kind of like this. And this shape is going to be in shadow. And that's because that's where the nose dips under. But if you have a large nose that's pointing down, like this one, there really is no shadow, because the shadow is going to be completely under the nose, like this. And that helps get a whole different definition. And if there is a shadow, if anything, it may be on the very, very tip of the nose and on the nostrils. And I mean like on the very, very tip. And then how you define the rest of this shape is up to you. So if this person does have a ridge shape of some sort on the inner nose, you would just draw that in here, kind of like that. And then usually, unless this nose is really, really intensive on the outside, usually you probably wouldn't see this. Maybe you'd see maybe something very, very gently, kind of like that. Just a very, very thin line to represent where it's coming down. But you can see that structure there, okay? Now, with a person with a very, very large nose, it's really easy to see the shadow because there's so much shadow underneath it. So if we do a big circle, so like this little circle, a really big one, and we understand that the overall shape of the nose, with exaggeration, may fit within an area like this, then we can look and see if the nostrils are visible or not. If they are, that means you probably have a line coming down off the bottom of the nose like that the nostril's going to connect to, kind of like this. And then off of that, you're going to put the nostrils themselves, the outer ridge of the nostrils, the skin. And then from there, you can probably see that there's a shape kind of like, sorry while I turn this to get a better drawing angle. There's a shape probably kind of like this that's going to be dropped in that shadow, which will be about right here, kind of like this. And it'll probably have a pretty bold shadow, kind of like that, okay? And then from the top of the nose, you'll have the point that'll come up like this. And then this is where the eyebrows start. And then right under there is going to be where the eye is. Okay? And so in this same shape, you have all the same details that you need to build off the structure of whatever this person's nose is. Whether it's a button nose, whether it's a long pointy nose, whether it's a natural, calm, nothing special, no need to... Hiccups too? There's no need to worry about extra details like that. So, now I've kind of showed you the basics of how to do that forwards, but what about in 3/4? I actually find that 3/4 is easier to do than drawing a nose straight forward, and here's the reason why. You don't have to worry about perfect perspective. You don't have to worry about one thing matching up on one side and matching up on the other. So let me go ahead and show you the same technique on a 3/4 nose. Now I can very, very quickly these days, because I've done this so long, draw a 3/4 nose. Okay, and I can do this real quick. First off, because I know my nose. I know how my nose works. Secondly, I just find it's easier because I'm not having to worry about the perspective of the face when I do this. It's all a matter of practice. And it's something you learn over time, especially if you're a caricature artist and you do this for a living. Okay, so there's the basic shape from the side. So that's a 3/4 angle. And I'll show you how to draw that now with using guidelines, which I strongly suggest. I strongly suggest not trying to do this like I just did. I'm used to drawing faces. It's something I connect with. But if you guys want to draw a nose correctly, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to draw the same nose, but I'm going to use guidelines. Okay, so let's do a different color. I'm going to look at the overall shape of this nose first. And here's what I'm seeing. Coming down, down, back, and up. Okay? So down, down, back. All right, there we go. So here's one part right here. Here's the next part, which will be somewhere in here. We don't know yet. Here's the bottom, which we can see here. And then here's this part, which we can see here. So this is all the information that you need to build this. Next question is, how far out does that come? And I can get that in here. Okay, knowing that, I can now look and see if I need to draw the circle of the nose outside of the triangle that I just drew, or keep it within. Okay, next thing is, how big is the nostril on the side? Is it visible? Is it invisible? And whatever the case may be, I can go ahead and put that on this line. Now the outside, the skin is going to come up like this. And it'll either be right on the triangle. You chose the triangle because of the shape. Now your goal is to use the shape to make sure that you're on track or not. So like this, and kind of like that. And the other nostril, which I did not draw on the other one, this triangle helps because now I can see that I need to do that. I can actually draw the other nostril in there too. Okay? And I can fill it in, and then we know you don't want to put, you see this little thing here, this is that thing between the nose and the lip. You don't want to put it right on the front because there's depth to a nose. The nose comes outward, so you want to kind of place it further back. Okay? And the thing that helps with this is the outside of the nostril, the inside of the nostril right here on both sides, is going to help make up where this shape is going to go. Okay? Because this is specifically because you have a hole in your head. And then when it comes down here, then this is where the lip is going to be formed. Okay? So you can use this same structure in any caricature that you draw, period. And by the way, I like putting this line up here because this is basically telling me that my highest light, my highlight point is going to hit this part of the nose, and usually it might even hit up here somewhere. Usually, though, it's defined right on the front of the nose. And then the shadow, in this case, would fall right along here, just like this. And if it's a really hard shadow, then you're going to cast it down on the rest of the face, kind of like this. Okay, looks right, doesn't it? It has the feeling that you would expect it would have. So what about that big, humongous schnoz kind of feeling, where it's a big center circle like we were talking about? Well, in this case, we'll go ahead and draw that same shape, same triangle shape. I'll do it down here. So let me go ahead and quickly just make out a nose in black, so we have something just to kind of go by. So we'll say that it has a nice little bridge, but it's got a really, really big nose. Really, really crazy big nose. Okay. Alright. And then here's where the eye is going to go, and the other eye. So, and we'll give him some crazy thick eyebrows. There we go. So that same shape here that we have, how would you draw this shape out? And the exact same idea. We're looking first off at where the top of the nostril is, top of the nose is, coming down, coming over, and going back up. This is a much tighter shape. Do you see this one? This is a much longer shape, and this one's a much tighter shape. That's exaggeration, folks. That's something that you can do. So if I wanted to, I can make that even tighter to get that exaggeration even more crazy. But for now, I'm just going to keep it light. We're going to kind of go like this. Now let's take a look at where the tip of the nose is here, or that center circle. I'm seeing center circle about right here. All right, now what about the bottom of the nose? Well, bottom of the nose is carrying all the way down. So we're going to have to carry it all the way down to the bottom of the shape. But we definitely see the nostril, so the nostril is going to go in here. And that nostril is going to play a role on where this little line is that heads toward the lip. And how long is that? And that's another form of exaggeration that we'll talk about another day. All this right here. And then we have the nostril that comes up the side. Now, you can see the shape here. It's hiding the other nostril. You don't even see it. It's not even visible. So just double check. Make sure that you don't need to like draw it in down here or anything, but I'm not seeing a need to. And then from here, you just finalize your structure. Look at how big this shaping is here for the bridge, and see if there's an overlap between the bridge and the front of the nose. There are people who have that, and sometimes it's fun to do that for exaggeration purposes. So don't be afraid to check on that. And then from there, just check on the other side. Make sure that you have enough detail over here to mark out where the shadows and highlights are going to go. And then finally, what's your line for your shadow? And get that in there, and how far does that shadow carry down onto the bottom of the face? Okay? So that's basically the whole idea that I use when it comes to drawing noses. And my nose is starting to run again. So this is a good opportunity to call it quits. Because, no, literally, it's running right now. It just started right now, just like this. So, guys, if you enjoyed this crazy all-out tutorial, which, honestly, as much as I hate to say this, this is much better than my first attempt at this. Because my nose was literally like running and I'm going, ha, 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 alright, we're done, we're done. It was so stupid. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I would love it if you'd hit the like button if you've enjoyed this tutorial and you want to see more. It would mean a lot to me if you leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, or as we like to say, subscribbled, would love it if you'd consider subscribing. And then finally, you guys are amazing. Just amazing. This is a good opportunity to like blow my nose and look like I'm crying, because like I really need to blow my nose right now. So anyway, you guys are amazing. All of you patrons out there, anyone who goes to my Patreon page and donates $1, you get all of my advanced tutorials completely free. Not completely free, it's just the $1 that you're paying. Basically, it's $1 per video, so every video that Tim makes, you guys are supporting me, and you can set your limits. So if I make 30 videos, you're not spending $30 a month. You can set your limit. Maybe you only want to support 1 or 2 videos a month at a $1 level. It really, really, really means a lot to me. And there are rewards if you donate at the $3, $5, $10, $15 level. I have everything from you getting a caricature to you getting a caricature that I draw for you on YouTube that actually is recorded as one of my tutorials, or speed paint, or even then you can get one-on-one training with me online. And so I got a bunch of rewards and I would love it if you check it out. And the support goes a long way. There are some big things coming up in my life, in my personal life, that are going to change so much. And I want you guys to be a part of it. I want you guys to support me in that, and I would love to see this take off and become a full-time job where I can take care of my wife and I on something like this. So, who knows, but your support helps, and each one of these wonderful patrons that are here on the side of my screen, or I should look down and fake like I'm looking down at them right now, just like this. All these amazing people are the reason why I have that support. So, thank you so much, everybody. You guys are amazing. And you put up with everything, snortiness, running noses, and I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Keep an eye out. Hit that like button. We have more coming very soon. God bless y'all. I love you. I'll see you next time. Keep drawing. Bye.